Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, the Roman rock star, met his dramatic end on March 15th, 44 BC, the oh-so-famous Ides of March. His buddies in the Senate were super worried about his rising stardom and feared he might become a big bad tyrant. So what did they do? They threw a surprise party for him at the Theater of Pompey with daggers as party favors. Brutus, Caesar's BFF, best friend forever, or so he thought, and Cassius, along with about 60 other senators, decided it was the perfect time to play Who Can Stab Caesar the Most. They managed to give him 23 little love taps. This dramatic exit of Caesar was like dropping a match into a barrel of fireworks, sparking off civil wars, and eventually leading to the grand finale of the Roman Republic. Enter stage left, Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later Augustus, who took over and started the Roman Empire. Shakespeare even gave this whole saga a Broadway makeover in his play Julius Caesar, complete with the famous line "Et tu, Brute," which has since become the catchphrase for ultimate betrayal by your bestie, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, met his unfortunate end on April 14th, 1865, thanks to John Wilkes Booth, an actor who took his role as a Confederate sympathizer a bit too seriously. Booth had this grand plan to kidnap Lincoln, but decided that assassination was more his style after the Confederacy's defeat. On the night in question, Lincoln was enjoying a play at Ford's Theater when Booth, who had already fiddled with the door to ensure smooth entry, barged in during the third act. Around 10:15 p.m., Booth shot Lincoln in the back of the head with a .44 caliber Derringer, because why not? After the dramatic deed, Booth jumped onto the stage, shouting something dramatic in Latin, either "Sic semper tyrannis," thus always to tyrants, or "The South is avenged," or maybe both, because why settle for one catchphrase? Despite breaking his leg during his theatrical exit, Booth managed to escape the theater. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie had quite the eventful day on June 28, 1914. It all started with Nedeljko Kabrinovich, who threw a grenade at their car. The bomb, in true slapstick fashion, bounced off and exploded behind them, injuring others but leaving the couple unharmed. Franz Ferdinand even joked at the governor's residence, "So you welcome your guests with bombs." Undeterred by the near miss, the couple decided to visit the hospital to see the injured. However, the drivers, clueless about the new plan, ended up reversing near the Latin Bridge. Conveniently, this was right in front of a delicatessen where Gavrilo Princip, another conspirator, was hanging out. Seeing his chance, Princip stepped up and fired 2 shots with his Fabrique Nationale pistol. One hit Franz Ferdinand in the neck, the other hit Sophie in the abdomen. Just like that, their day took a tragic turn, and the world found itself on the brink of World War I. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, the face of the Indian independence movement, had his tragic final moment on January 30th, 1948. Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist with a serious grudge, decided it was time for Gandhi to go. Godse blamed Gandhi for the appeasement of Muslims and the chaotic partition of India. At around 5:15 p.m., Gandhi was on his way to a prayer meeting at Birla House. Godse, ever the traditionalist, greeted Gandhi with a Hindu salutation before pulling out a revolver and firing 3 shots at close range. The bullets hit Gandhi in the chest, abdomen, and thigh. Gandhi reportedly uttered "He Ram, oh God," as he collapsed. Gandhi was quickly carried back into Birla House, but he didn't make it. And just like that, one of history's most influential leaders was taken down by a fanatic. John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was assassinated on November 22, 1963, in Dallas, Texas. President Kennedy was riding in an open-top convertible as part of a motorcade. He was accompanied by his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, Texas Governor John Connally, and Connally's wife, Nellie. The motorcade was en route to the Trade Mart, where Kennedy was scheduled to deliver a speech. As the motorcade passed the Texas School Book Depository, shots rang out. Kennedy was struck by 2 bullets. The first bullet hit him in the neck, and the second bullet struck him in the head. Governor Connally was also wounded by the same bullet that exited Kennedy's neck, hitting him in the back, chest, wrist, and thigh. The motorcade rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital, approximately 4 miles away. Despite the efforts of the medical team, Kennedy was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. Governor Connally survived his injuries. Martin Luther King Jr., a prominent leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, was assassinated on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. James Earl Ray, a career criminal, was identified as the assassin. Ray had escaped from the Missouri State Penitentiary in 1967 and had been on the run for nearly a year before the assassination. At approximately 6:01 p.m., King was standing on the balcony of his motel room when he was struck by a single bullet fired from a Remington 760 Game Master rifle. The bullet entered through his right cheek, traveled down his neck, and lodged in his shoulder, severing major arteries and veins. King was rushed to St. Joseph's Hospital, where doctors attempted to revive him. Despite their efforts, King was pronounced dead at 7:05 p.m. Malcolm X. Malcolm X, a prominent human rights activist and Muslim minister, was assassinated on February 21, 1965, at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem, New York City. Here are the details of his assassination. As Malcolm X began his speech, a commotion broke out in the audience. Someone yelled, "Nigger, get your hand out of my pocket," which caused a distraction. Amid the confusion, a man rushed forward and shot Malcolm X in the chest with a sawed-off shotgun. 2 other men then charged the stage, firing semi-automatic handguns. Malcolm X was struck a total of 21 times, with wounds to his chest, left shoulder, arms, and legs, including 10 buckshot wounds from the initial shotgun blast. Malcolm X was quickly taken to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy, a U.S. Senator and brother of President John F. Kennedy, was assassinated on June 5, 1968, in Los Angeles, California. Robert F. Kennedy had just delivered a victory speech in the Embassy Ballroom of the Ambassador Hotel after winning the California Democratic primary. As he exited the ballroom through a kitchen hallway, he was shot multiple times by Sirhan Sirhan, a 24-year-old Palestinian. Sirhan Sirhan fired a .22 caliber Iver Johnson revolver, hitting Kennedy and injuring 5 others. Kennedy was struck by 3 bullets, with 1 bullet entering his head and causing fatal brain damage. Kennedy was rushed to the Good Samaritan Hospital, where he underwent surgery but succumbed to his injuries nearly 25 hours later, on June 6, 1968, Benazir Bhutto. Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, was assassinated on December 27, 2007, in a combined shooting and bombing attack during a political rally in Rawalpindi. After delivering a speech at the rally, Bhutto stood up through the sunroof of her bulletproof vehicle to wave to the crowd. At that moment, a gunman fired shots at her, hitting her in the neck and chest. Immediately following the shooting, a suicide bomber detonated explosives, causing a massive blast that killed at least 20 other people and injured many more. Bhutto was critically injured and was rushed to Rawalpindi General Hospital, where she was pronounced dead at 6:16 p.m. local time. The official cause of death was a severe head injury caused by the impact of the explosion.